I think it'll work this time. So I was getting into it. I was probably like fucking like 30 minutes, 35 minutes into it, and it just fucking shut down the whole thing. I don't know. Anyways, it is what it is, and it's just happening in the way that it wants to happen. So I'm going to make another effort in doing this again. It kind of sucks because I got really deep before, and because it's live and we're just free falling through this thing. I might have missed some points, but maybe I'm supposed to make some better points or some deeper points, right? Hopefully it's working right now. I'm not seeing anyone on yet, but we're just gonna go into it. So, as far as the 8-circuit model, it was created through Timothy Leary's 8-circuit model of consciousness, right, or conscious being, and then later refined and distilled and refined by Robert Anton Wilson in his book Prometheus Rising. Right? My last Instagram live 2 weeks ago, I got into the 8 circuits. It was supposed to be like a 45-minute Instagram live that turned into a 2-hour and 45-minute Instagram live, right? What's up, Space Talk? What's up, Gypsy Princess? So yeah, the animals that I make or that I refine and exalt in the laboratory, how we take those animals and use them or invite them to allow us to progress through our evolution in rewriting, reprogramming, and re-imprinting our circuits. All right? So circuit 1 is the biosurvival circuit, or the sacred container. The core question for this circuit is, am I safe? Can I trust this world? So the wound is free-floating anxiety, poor immune action, weak boundaries, feeling like a potential victim. So the alchemical trio for this circuit of animals is, number 1, tarantula, the sovereign. So, the master of grounded, potent power. It teaches us to be the source of your own safety. This is what tarantulas are about, right? To move with deliberate confidence and to hold a boundary that is felt, not just seen or spoken. It says, my presence is my protection power. Can you guys hear me? Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I'll give you a second. Because it got cut off before, and I don't know if it reconnected. Can you hear me? Melise? Talk? Can you hear me? Just go if you can hear me. Can you hear me? I know it's probably delayed by a few seconds, but I just want to make sure. Hello? Okay. It says is okay, yes. Thank you. Somebody said yes. Thank you, Angel. I know that's not your name, but anyways, you're an angel to me. So Tarantula the Sovereign, as discussed, is the master of grounded, potent power, right? It teaches you to be the source of your own safety, to move with deliberate confidence. Thank you. And to hold a boundary that is felt, not just seen or spoken. It says, my presence is my protection. Think about that. My presence, if I am present, right? If I'm present, I'm not really thinking about much, if at all, right? I'm in the moment. So I have all the information that I need by being here, right? Tarantula does not think about what's going on. Thank you, Melise. tarantula is aware of what's going on, because tarantulas, you know, let's say here's the tunnel entrance to the little den of where the tarantula lives, right? Here's the tunnel, and this is where tarantula lives, right? So tarantulas, they're not web weavers like orb weavers, right? They just put down like a blanket of web all the way from the tunnel entrance, the opening to their home, all the way down to where they're at the base or at the end of the tunnel, right? So they do this, and they feel everything that's going to go on, things that are going to try to come into the den, right? Their home. And they also do this really interesting thing where, so the webbing that they lay down from the entrance to where they're at is very dense, it's thicker, it's broader, right? But they will, if this is the entrance right here, they will go and leave long, almost invisible threads that are like tripwires. And what tarantula does is that it knows when things are a threat, when it's a danger, or it's a prey. It's crazy. They know this just by what hit it. They might not know exactly what it is, but I'm gonna assume that they do know exactly what the animal is, or the insect, right, that just came by. If it was like a big lizard that's way bigger than the tarantula, the lizard is not, the tarantula is not gonna go after it. If it hit the tripwire, it's just gonna, okay, lay low. When the coast is clear, it'll eventually go up there and restructure, like it'll repair or create a new tripwire, right? So the tarantula knows what's coming. But tarantulas rely on their senses, right? They're very grounded about it. They're so grounded in the sense that they trust what's going on. They trust themselves in the present moment. They trust themselves presently so much, to such an extent that they don't need to go check to see what that was. Because if you don't trust, that means you don't trust yourself. If you don't trust yourself, you need to go see what that was. It may very well be not a prey animal, food, right? It may be something that's gonna fucking eat you or kill you, right? Cool. So, my presence is my protection. So being present means that you're quiet, you're aware, you trust. If you trust, you're present, and you're aware, then there's less likely of a chance that you are going to put yourself in danger or at risk. Doesn't mean that it will never be dangerous. It just means that there's a lesser probability of you getting yourself into some fucking mess because you are aware of, like, you're aware of your trust, you're aware of what's going on outside in such an extent that you don't need to go out there if it's none of your fucking business, right? That's it. So tarantula, master of grounded, potent power, teaches you how to be the source of your own safety, to move with deliberate confidence. So if you know, I am me, I am here, and because I know this, I don't have to think about, oh, I don't know if I don't know how I feel about myself, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to think about all that extra shit. You just, I am, and I am here. Then I trust, and if I shut the fuck up, I can feel, I can sense everything that's going on around me, like even further from me, right? And I don't need to go out there and put myself at risk or at danger or threat or anything like that. It just, everything comes to me. Presence, right? The second animal is scorpion, the alchemist of shadow. So scorpion takes safety to a deeper, more potent level, right? It is a master of transforming poison into medicine, which takes time, because even if you know how to turn poison into medicine in front of you, your body still doesn't know how to do that. So you might have to dilute the poison that's coming in, right? It is a master of transforming poison into medicine, threat into power, fear into confidence, right? Like, that's what it does. Whatever was the original thing that could have been harmful to you, Scorpion is a master of turning those fears, lack of confidence, right? Like, all that shit. He knows how to turn that into something that's actually beneficial for you, right? It teaches you to not fear your own shadow or the darkness in your environment, but to integrate it and wield it as a sacred defense. It says, that which you fear in me is my greatest power, right? So if something outside of you is something that you fear, it knows that you fear it. But you say to it, through Tarantula, that which I fear is now my power, if I can exalt that, right? The medicine is in the poison. This is Tarantula, like, through and through, right? The third one is Rabbit. Rabbit is the sensor, right? Sensing. This adds a crucial layer. Rabbit adds a crucial layer to this this first circuit. Rabbit is hypervigilance refined into its superpower, right? So rabbits are hyper vigilant. Anything that's hyper, it's like above the normal, right? Like hyperactive, hyper awareness, right? So rabbits are prey animals, right? They're not predators. So the world that we live in, nature, tends to be very predatory, right? If you're a prey animal, that means that you were born into the world of predators, right? That prey upon things, right? So if you are a prey animal, like rabbit is definitely a prey animal, your central and peripheral nervous systems are designed to get like so much biofeedback from the environment. They are nervous. They are expecting and looking for a threat, looking for danger, right? Looking for failure, right? Looking for things not working out, right? Like a nervous Nancy, right? That kind of stuff. So, all right, so your nervous system, your senses, and your awareness of your senses, you don't have to, usually we're not aware of our senses being so exalted or so intense, so hyper, right? Rabbits, what they're operating from as a prey animal, rabbits are seeking, their central and peripheral nervous systems are seeking for threats or danger, right? That's something that a lot of us have gone through. We are expecting a threat. We're expecting danger to happen. So what we do is because the difference between us and the other animals, we are animals, right? But the difference between us animal and the other animals is that we fucking create the reality that we fucking believe is fucking happening, or that it may happen. What we believe becomes the fucking reality that we experience, right? So a predatory animal or a prey animal, we're not prey animals, but we act like it. We're not predatory animals, but we also act like it too, right? But we are a type of animal. We're kind of somewhere in between, right? Just because you eat meat doesn't mean you're a predatory animal, because you probably never fucking hunted a thing in your fucking life. You might have killed a few spiders in your bathtub and all this shit, but you're not a predatory animal. So you don't need to be operating from that place. But our environments, our realities have been very predatory to us. That's how nature is, right? Like a lot of people say, it's just like a eat or be eaten kind of world, right? So maybe trauma, maybe you've been touched inappropriately, you got raped, right? You got beat up a lot when you were a kid, whatever the fuck. You grew up as a prey animal in a predatory world. But the thing is that you're not a prey animal. It's just these circuits get confused, or they're not confused because they don't know any better, right? So there's no confusion. But these circuits get programmed as if you were a prey animal in a predatory world. The thing is that you don't need to think like that. And rabbit, exalted, right? And everything that I make in the lab when it comes to the animals has been exalted, right? So it's all about wisdom, the teachings, right? They find the flaw, they find the thing that hasn't been fucking working out for you, and we can change that. So with rabbit, it's subtle threats and opportunities. It teaches you when to be still and when to move with explosion. So you are tactful on how you act or react to something. You don't have to be subservient to the way that you've been programmed, or these circuits have been programmed in the past, right? I took some mushrooms, and my goal was to see who's gonna win, me or the mushroom, before the end of this live. And I already did this for like 40 minutes and the live cut off, so the mushrooms are kicking in. But I think it'll make it more interesting. Just stick around. All right. Rabbit. It says, my sensitivity. My sensitivity is my radar for safety. So being sensitive doesn't mean that you react, right? Like, I know a lot of people that are sensitive, like emotionally sensitive and stuff, but they're very reactive. And it's like, that's not emotionally sensitive, because you react to things that you have preconceived notions about and fucking like, no. It means that you're aware of a lot of information, but you still haven't exalted yourself in your relationship to the accruement of information, and you react to it, right? My sensitivity is my radar for safety. My ability to sit with my sensitivities is how I'm able, to stay safe without reactivity. Because if a rabbit's getting stalked by a red fox or something, right? Running may not always be the fucking thing that you want to do. Maybe shutting the fuck up and just going. And not emitting the frequency of fear is the way that you might get away from a predator fucking finding you. Because predators are designed to find things that are fucking scared. So if reality is predatory, reality is looking to fuck with or hunt down those that are afraid. When you are afraid, when I say afraid, right? So you can sense fear in yourself, but it doesn't mean that you are afraid. It means, if you're exalted in this sense, right? I am feeling fear. Change that story, right? So I'm feeling fear. What that tells me is I'm experiencing the awareness of something around me that is not in my best benefit, or it's not my friend, right? Or it's looking for it, right? You don't need to react to that. The best thing you could do, if someone is looking for you that is trying to fucking kill you, is shh, right? So like, worst case scenario, you got a kid with you because the kids are gonna scream and all this stuff, right? Like in horror movies. Best case scenario, you're by yourself. You don't do this. You don't shut your mouth. Like, you don't try to, you just fucking relax. Again, why meditation is key and important. And if y'all motherfuckers ain't meditating every day, what the fuck are you doing? You ain't gonna go nowhere, because you gotta fucking meditate. You have to fucking meditate. You have to meditate every day, at least 5 fucking minutes. If you ain't meditating, I don't give a fuck how much ayahuasca you're doing, how many fucking drum circles you gone to, how many much. If you ain't meditating, you're not getting anywhere. You're not gonna get anywhere, because if you're gonna be confronted with the things that I'm describing, even more, right? Like Cthulhu mythos, Cthulhu, right? Type mythos in your fucking reality. If you want to really fucking go and push the fucking boundaries of existence and reality, you can't fucking do it without fucking meditating. You need to be able to fucking meditate. You have to. You have to fucking do it. I've met so many fucking alchemists. They're like, nah, I don't need to be like, bro, if you make the fucking stone, by the time you make, like, you're not gonna fucking make the philosopher's stone if you can't fucking center yourself and be an observer as opposed to a watcher or partaker into fucking reality. You need to be able to go, no matter what, reality disfragments itself and disentangles and deforms itself from everything, and you're no longer fucking human and all this shit. Like, you need to be able to go, Rabbit is teaching you. I know it's like, wait, you went way far, but Rabbit is teaching this kind of stuff to us, right? You're already equipped to be neurotic, but you don't become neurotic. You don't allow yourself to be neurotic. What you do is you allow yourself to just be and sense and feel. Just like tarantula, right? It's like, there's something outside that's threatening. I'm not gonna go out there. Fuck that bitch, right? Cool. Life exercise for circuit 3 with the circuit 1, with the animals. Close your eyes, feel into your body, right? Meditation. Where is it that you feel unsafe? Now imagine the slow, deliberate energy of the tarantula creating a shield around you, right? Feel the transformative power of the scorpion, turning that fear into a protective force. Finally, tune your senses like the rabbit. What do you truly need to be aware of right now? Breathe into that new multi-layer sense of safety. Safety, it starts here. If you're not safe in here, man, you're never gonna find the proper exit. 300 people in a building. There's an incident, right? Safety. They're all running through every fucking exit. How do you fucking find safety? It's like you might have to wait a second. It's safety starts here, and safety comes from awareness. Okay, circuit 2. I'm gonna try not to stay too long with the circuits because I don't know what happened before. But anyways, the emotional locomotor circuit, the dance of power. The core question is, how do I move through the world with power and grace? All right. The wound is stuck in emotional loops like rage and shame, inability to take action, feeling powerless or overly aggressive. The alchemical trio for circuit 2, number 1, mountain lion, the embodied asserter, pure, silent, confident power. Bitch, I know me. I don't have to prove it. I don't have to do any of this shit. I fucking know me, right? The wound of this circuit is stuck in emotional loops like rage and shame. The inability to take action, feeling powerless or overly aggressive. The alchemical... Sorry. Hold on. Because I'm not ranting anymore. So, my notes. So it's mountain lion, pure, silent, confident power. It teaches you to own your own space and take decisive action from a place of centeredness, right? Not reactivity. If you're operating from here or here, you're operating from a reactive place. It's not centered. If you're active from here, you don't react, you act. If you act from left or act from right, that's not action, that's reaction, right? You want to act, and that's always going to come from the center. Mountain lion, man, fucking solar as fuck. That bitch knows, like, she is a silent fucking hunter, a silent fucking killer. Before she pounces and attacks, she has probably been tracking you or the prey. They're not very big on hunting humans, but she's been tracking her prey from the moment that before she even picked up the scent of smell of the prey. She picked up on a frequency that extends further than the sense of smell, called fear, nervousness, uncenteredness. Yeah, that's how predators work. Like, that's how predators find what the fuck they're looking for. They're not just smelling. Smelling is the second thing that they do. The first thing that they're doing, and they're not doing it intentionally, they just are predators, right? something in their peripheral nervous system is picking up on nervousness, fear. So if you're afraid, the world has things that is looking to prey upon your fears. Different conversation for another day. But mountain lion, it is the energy of silence, silent pounce. Action without unnecessary noise or drama. You don't need to let people know also that you caught the motherfucker, or because that's the thing. If I'm a mountain lion and I just call my prey, I don't need to announce to the world that I just I'm so centered and calm that I can, hopefully the idea is that I can just eat my fucking prey and not get fucked with by another mountain lion or a bear or coyotes or, ravens and crows are fine. They're not gonna fuck with you. They might, but they're scavengers. But anyways, second animal for circuit 2 is the red fox, the strategic dancer. The fox brings cunning and strategy to the dance. It's not about being brute force. It's about knowing how and when to move. It teaches playful manipulation of circumstances, using cleverness and agility to navigate complex power dynamics and to get what you want, right? So here's the folly of red fox before it gets exalted. So red fox in the wild lives around about 3 to 4 years, right? And that's because they do something called caching, right? So caching is you go and hunt something and you bring it to the den, right? That's caching, right? But they do it excessively because an unmature or unresolved red fox, right, doesn't understand that it doesn't need to keep bringing food into the den, which rots. It smells awful, right? Every time that you as a predator goes to hunt, you put your life at risk, right? You risk yourself of getting hurt because there are cars, there are humans, there are other predators. You know what I mean? Even disease, man. Like, there's just so many factors that could be factors working against you if every time that you go out there, so you probability-wise, mathematic-wise, right? Every time that you put yourself in danger, you increase the possibility of something happening to you that's not to your benefit, more to your detriment, right? So a red fox in the wild lives about 3 to 4 years, but in captivity, where they're not allowed the space and time to do the whole caching thing, excessive and obsessive, impulsive caching, they live like 20 years. Do you understand how mind-boggling that is? That a fucking fox in the wild, in nature, lives 3-4 years, right, about max. But in captivity, they can live 30 fucking years, 20 fucking years. That's crazy, but it makes fucking sense, right? So, says, sorry, there's stuff crawling around in the dark. Anyways, so red fox, it teaches playful manipulation of circumstances. Right there, I just said it, right? It plays in nature, right, out in the wild, and lives like 3 or 4 years. It manipulates the circumstances to that, but in captivity, it manipulates the circumstances where it lets go of that, and it lives how many fucking times, right? Like, more than just being out in nature. Wild, like fucking crazy. It's not about brute force. It's about knowing how and when to move, right? So when they're put into a captive, so if you can captivate or contain your wild nature of, like, you can extend things about yourself. You could extend even awareness. It's not just extending life expenditures or whatever the fuck. You could extend and expand things about yourself and your beingness by manipulating that. And Red Fox teaches that, right? Cleverness and agility to navigate complex power dynamics and to get where you want. That's it. Humans are top of the food chain, right? But if a human takes you in as a Red Fox, you're gonna live like 20 fucking years. But that's because you manipulated the circumstances to your needs. It's not because of the human. Just think about that shit. Third one is serpent. The primal current. All right. The serpent is a raw kundalini-like flow of life force itself. It sheds the past, old emotional skins, right? And moves with fluid, undulating grace. It teaches you to move with your emotions, not from them, channeling that raw energy into transformative power. Serpent says, my power is in my flow, not in my force. So, you have never seen a serpent ever, whether in real life or in a video, use force, right? Think about this. An anaconda, right? Or a constrictor, right? You could say they use force to get their prey, but they use stealthness, awareness, their sensibilities and sensitivities to sense where their prey at. Serpents don't have the best eyesight. Okay, every serpent species eyesight differs one from the other, but as a whole, they don't have the best eyesight. That's why serpents, especially like vipers and stuff, right? Like, they have pits in their face, and it's all about sensing, kind of like the tarantula, right? Sensing their environment, right? Teaches you to move with your emotions, not from them, channeling that raw energy into transformative power. So you can feel your emotion. I feel sad. I feel happy. I feel hungry. I feel, neglected. I feel. All right? But instead of reacting onto it, you take a moment. Because serpents, before they strike, they take their time. They don't just fucking strike. They take a moment before they strike. Before they constrain. So an 18-foot anaconda, is not just striking at the prey. Even though it's a large animal and you think that it could just bulldoze through nature, serpents they're sensitive, they're delicate. There's something they're strong, but there's a vulnerability, there's a fragility to everything in nature, right? But serpents, so even an 18-foot anaconda, right? That's like fucking 2.5, 3 foot wide, right? Muscle, strength, right? It doesn't have armor, plates for skin. Like, it has scales, but they're not, you know what I mean? They're made for the water. They're not like desert snakes that are more plated. Or even then, right? It's not fucking armor. It's not a tank. They're sensible animals. They feel their environment. They know when to strike and when not to strike. They don't just fucking do it, right? So serpent is teaching us that my power is in my flow, not my force. And when you flow, man, you don't force. You flow with what's going on, right? Have you ever seen a snake move around? It's fucking beautiful. Like, I've never seen anything else in nature move outside of sea creatures, right? I've never seen anything in nature move more fluidly, more flow-like than a serpent. The animal that sacrificed its limbs for gnosis, for secrets of the universe, like Odin. Odin medicine is snake medicine. Snake medicine, serpent medicine is Odin medicine, right? Like, it's just awareness. It's not medicine. But it is, right? It's the cure for your stupidity. You want to fucking go further, right? That's what I'm here for with myself. I'm here to do whatever the fuck I'm supposed to do with you guys, but for myself, it's fucking straight up Odin medicine. Like Odin works all the fucking way. Because I just want to fucking know. Like, I'm down. If I get a divorce, if I never got married, if I don't have any kids, if I have 30 kids, like, that's okay, man. Like, I'm gonna go with the flow, and I'm not gonna impede in anything I'm gonna fucking do or that's wanted of me or how the flow is going, because serpent medicine. Serpent, all the way. Cool. And circuit 3, the dexterity symbolism circuit, the toolmaker's mind. The core question is, how do I solve this? What can I create? The wound of this circuit is mental rigidity, analysis paralysis, right? Lack of curiosity, inability to manifest ideas. So the alchemical trio for this one, alchemical animal trio. Number 1, the sacred trickster, Coyote. Coyote is the ultimate paradigm shifter. Coyote breaks into your rigid thinking patterns with humor and chaos, forcing you to find creative, outside of the box solutions. It teaches you to use whatever is at hand in novel ways and not to take your problems or yourself or others or other problems outside of yourself seriously. I'm not going to talk much about the trickster animals like that. I'm a trickster animal. My work is a trickster animal. Trickster plant, like trickster. So I like to leave that to you guys. You go figure that out. On my website though, materiaartium.com, there is a bunch of fucking writing on Coyote, but even then, it's not as extensive as it could have been because it's a sacred trickster, man. It's a sacred animal. It's the one that made the universe, whether it was raven, crow, rabbit, whatever culture. It was the trickster that did all this. And the trickster is the reason why you're you and I am me, or we believe, or you believe that you're you and I am me. I'll leave it at that. Stop taking it seriously. It's a fucking game that you fucking chose. And you decided, you made this fucking thing yourself. Every aspect of it. You made male and female. You made left and right. Like all of it before you fucking came here. You did this to all of us. And to yourself. You fucking did this. This is why I don't like to talk about the trickster. It gets me into trouble. It gets a lot of fucking backlash. And I just don't care anymore to fucking play along. But you fucking did this. Nobody else did this. You did this to yourself. Every aspect. You got abused when you were a child. You got raped. Right? You got abandoned. Right? You got left. You did this, but you, okay, how? Why? Whatever. That's trickster shit. Trickster medicine is the ultimate medicine. Like, it's the top of the top. Top of the line. Trickster medicine, I'm not going to get into it. But you fucking did this. This is your fault. No, you did this, though. Grow up. Like, it makes sense. Anyways, number 2 in the third circuit, hawk. The panoramic seer, right? Red-tailed hawk brings the gift of perspective. It rises above the linear. It's detail-oriented view to see the whole pattern of the situation. Everything at large. It's not looking for. It's not seeking. It's observation. It's objectivity versus subjectivity. It's looking at objects instead of subjects, right? It's not projecting because it wants to take in all the information. That's why raptors, right? Like red-tailed hawk medicine, they're so fucking good at what they do. A hawk can be up in the sky 1 mile from base ground, right? 1 mile. Do you understand how far a mile is? You cannot see your friend a mile from you. Like, you can't tell if that's your friend or your enemy a mile from you. They are 1 mile up, and they can tell where there's been a mouse and where it's going at this very fucking moment. Amazing. They can't see it from here, ground level. If they're ground level, there's too many things in the way, right? It distorts. Depth perception, all that stuff. The higher I am away from everything, the more I can see the full picture. Red-tailed hawk medicine. Fucking amazing. You gotta ground that bitch through another animal, to other circuits, but I love that. I love red-tailed hawk. The third one is wasp. The master architect. Wasp, like that, the insect. Wasp is the precise engineer. It takes the creative chaos of coyote and a panoramic vision of hawk, and it builds with incredible precision. It knows how to manipulate the material, like symbols, codes, words. That's wasp medicine, right? To construct something complex, strong, and functional. It is the power of focused, detailed execution. Need I say more, right? Wasp medicine is very feminine, right? Their colony is like, she a bad bitch. Like, bad bitch alert. Like, that's fucking wasp. She's fucking great. The life exercise of this in working in circuit 3 with animals in general is stuck on a problem. First, call on coyote to laugh about the absurdity of it and brainstorm 3 crazy solutions. Then channel hawk, get a bird's eye view of the situation. What's the underlying pattern? Finally, invoke the wasp to identify the one precise actionable step you can take right now to start building a solution without emotions. You can use emotion to build solutions, but don't. Yeah, you guys aren't fucking stupid. You get it. Circuit 4 is the social sexual circuit, the tribal weave, right? So the core question is, what is my role? How do I connect? The core question. All right, so the wound is feeling like an outsider, toxic guilt, shame, inability to form healthy bonds, being trapped in a role. And the alchemical trio for circuit 4 is, by the way, we're only going to go through the first 4 circuits. Next week we'll tap into the 4 later circuits. Anyway, so the honeybee, the harmonious contributor. The essence of community, collaboration, and creating something sweet, honey, right? For the collective. It teaches you to find joy and purpose in your role within the hive, to communicate effectively, and to work for a common good. Honeybee, right? Wasp, right? We did circuit 3. Wasp, the boundary guardian. As before, the wasp defends the sovereignty of the nest, but it also teaches fierce loyalty to your chosen tribe and the absolute necessity of defending its boundaries. It gives you the courage to sting when necessary to protect the integrity of your relationships, whether it's a relationship to yourself or the relationships to those in your tribe or your ideas and stuff like that. But you are being discerning about how you do this, right? Before you just fucking act or react. Number 3 is cicada, which I don't talk a lot about, but my fucking favorite. It's the mythic role shifter. So cicada brings a profound cyclical dimension. It spends years underground in one role as a nymph, right? Before a dramatic molting emerges into a completely different form, the singing adult, right? It teaches you that your roles are not permanent. You can shed an old social skin, or even a personal one, old permanent ones, but they're not permanent, right? Disappear for a time of transformation and reemerge with a new song and a new place in the world. Cicada. I mean, it's transmutation. That's cicada, which is very different from a lot of insects. So the life exercise for number 4 is map your tribes, family, work, friends. For each, ask, am I the honeybee, contributing sweetly? Do I need to be the wasp, defend a boundary? Or is it time to be the cicada, preparing to shed the entire role and sing a new song? So from the grounded safety of tarantula, scorpion, and rabbit, through the powerful dance of mountain lions, fox, and serpent, into the creative mind of coyote, hawk, wasp, down to the tribal, the social aspect, right? Because we are here to be social. That's the other fucking thing too, right? That's why I'm not in the cave that I like to fucking stay in forever. This is just theory. It's a vibration. It's a vibrational technology for change. So this is the first part. Next week I'll do the second part. I will get my shit together with the audio if it didn't really work out this much. Anyways, I love you guys. Hope that works. Hope that makes sense. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.